Bitcoin has been treading water over recent times, but behind the scenes, the digital currency continues to grow and develop. Stefan Rivera says it's a slow burn, but is similar to when the internet first began.
Exactly. It just takes time. So I think it's one of those things where it's hard to sort of pinpoint and say, oh, this was the moment. It's more just like it's a two steps forward, one step back dance. So some big announcement will happen, and then maybe some other thing will happen, and then okay, it kind of goes in the lull. It lulls back for a little bit, and then some new thing happens, and we go forward again. And it's that's been the trend, at least in my experience, in my 8 years now in the Bitcoin game.
And to chat further about recent development in the crypto sphere, I spoke with tech analyst Andrew Rossow a short time ago. Talk to me about the state of the crypto market at the moment. How would you describe it?
I think the answer is always it's interesting. And right now we have exciting news. Bank of America recently announced approving Bitcoin futures, a trading of Bitcoin futures. But I think the biggest question here is the psychological aspect of what's happening with Bitcoin right now. It's been trading at an all-time high between that $30,000 mark, but what happens when it starts to drop? And I think that psychology here is what's going to be guiding investors to either stay in or start to pull out.
Yeah, okay, we'll touch further on that Bank of America story in a moment. But yeah, Bitcoin has been trading roughly sideways for, a couple of months now. Will we finally break out of this sideways trading, do you believe?
If I had to guess, I think we will. I really do. But it's hard to say. But with what has happened so far, how things have progressed, I don't see why not. And I think with how things are going, the potential for Bitcoin to keep breaking barriers and showing that we really are ready and prepared for this digital age of digital assets, I think we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, just on that point, why is Bitcoin ready for the digital age?
For years, we have, as consumers, looked for ways around centralized finance, for ways to be able to have faster, easier access to money. And for the first time in years, we're starting to see it work, not just here in the US, but everywhere abroad. And the ability to have a truly digital interconnected world of business, no matter what industry you're in, has worked and allows us to truly stay connected.
Okay, as you touched on, there have been these reports in recent days that the Bank of America, and it's worth pointing out, this is the second largest bank in the US, has approved the trading of Bitcoin futures for some clients. Tell us more about what you make of this, and does this suggest to you that, is this a pretty strong signal that interest in trading crypto is here to stay?
I definitely believe so. I mean, the fact that Bank of America has come out and said, we understand it, we're ready, that's a big sign. I mean, we've had companies like Goldman Sachs and over the years, JP Morgan Chase, which has expressed initially its hesitation for crypto and then come to find out a few years ago, now saying, hey, wait a minute, there's something here. There's a lot to be said. And with Bank of America's move here, for investors that not necessarily want to hold on to crypto, but want to trade on its future behavior, there's a lot to be excited here. So
yeah,
it's a big move. It's a big move.
Yeah, and if one bank sees an opportunity in doing something risky or potentially risky, do you think it will be easier for others to justify following suit?
Oh, absolutely. And you nailed it right there. Anytime a bank like this, of this magnitude, of this size, of this repertoire, gets involved and makes a decision, it's likely that the other banks will start to follow suit, and Wall Street will start to see, hey, we don't want to miss out on this. We don't want that fear and doubt to cloud our judgment or our ability to better connect with consumers.
Okay, and some other crypto-related news out of the US in recent days. The State Department is offering to pay for cybercrime tips with crypto. The US State Department's Rewards for Justice program is adding crypto to its payout options. The department says this actually marks the first time since its establishment in 1984 that the program has offered a reward payment in cryptocurrency. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this story, but what do you make of this move and what does it signal to you?
Openness, willingness, and a recognition that this technology is here to stay, that this technology is real, that it's not a fad, that this is something that needs to be explored. So do we have the regulation all ready to go? Understood? No, but we're building towards it. And with this kind of program, a bug bounty program, so to speak, or I guess an analogy, shows the seriousness by the U.S. to really move forward and have a better understanding into this technology. I think this is a perfect opportunity for the country to really dive in here, and it starts with these types of programs.
Okay, I want to ask your thoughts on what's been happening in China recently because, they just continue to intensify their cryptocurrency crackdown. In recent days, more provinces have joined the blitz against Bitcoin mining. What do you make of this ongoing crackdown?
Look, I mean, it's dramatic. It's one of these things where if you're looking at the Bitcoin mining, and we just learned, how individuals and organizations are willing to go so far as to try and steal electricity with China's crackdown, it's just another effort to try and understand the technology. It comes out as drama, but in my opinion, this is how cultures, other locales throughout the world are trying to understand their technology, but most importantly, tailoring it to their consumer base, tailoring it to the customs that have been implemented in that culture for years to come. So I think while there is drama right now, there's some good here, and it's just about understanding and watching how other cultures are taking in this new technology.
Okay, before we wrap up the interview, any other development in the crypto space that you want to share with our viewers, or just anything on your mind that you would like to share with the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Japan, for example, is another country to keep our eyes on of its increased efforts to regulate cryptocurrency. So similar to the idea of if one bank starts to jump on the bandwagon and make a move, even if risky, we're starting to see that pattern with other countries. We had exciting news and still do out of El Salvador. So Japan looking into getting into this technology, but most importantly, trying to understand how to regulate it better is extremely important. And the idea of stable coins right now is another hot topic of the US willing to say stable coins are valuable. We do understand it, but we need to make sure that we can regulate it in a way where it is not an unchecked system where you have private money being passed around from person to person or entity to entity. So this is such an exciting time for crypto. And as always, it's hard to see what's going to happen next, but isn't that the fun?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Fascinating conversation. We really appreciate you getting up so early over there in the US to make the time to join us. We'll look forward to chatting again soon.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.